This is a quick demonstration of an add-on that I've been developing. So it integrates with Coda document in order for large-scale project tracking and planning. And I'll just demonstrate it now. So I'm going to retrieve the Coda row manually because currently auto read and write is disabled. And we have a whole load of options here. So everything on the left we can only view, and everything on the right we can edit. And this is down to data types as well as customized preferences. Um, so yeah, that's all cool. So whatever I change here, if I write it, it will appear within the Coda document. So rather than complete, I want this object to be in the state of being rigged, and you can see current UID, which is being overwritten from what would normally be the file name, truncated universal ID, is currently overwritten as an example one. So if I go here, well, let me bring up the Coda document. So within this Coda document, you can see asset example one, its stages, its asset type, its notes and other stuff that has appeared over within Blender. And so if, as well as the active user and the file path, and there's an alert that happens if there are any other active users within the current file, to prevent anybody's work from being overwritten, as well as production ready and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to quickly write Coda, and you'll see that it updates to rigging in here, and that applies to any information that might be changed, as well as the file path and the active user, which are not handled by the controller or by the person using it. I also have a nice little widget up in the top right here that can be customized as well. So I personally like to have the due date and the priority up in the top right here. So that's kind of cool. Going back to Coda just to show the integration. So let's see. So within the asset list, we have all assets, their states, their stages, what they're being referenced by, their dependencies, their file paths, etc., as well as who they're assigned to and all relevant information. Same thing for the scene layers. And with the scene layers, it also has information on every single object that is within the scene. And everything relates back to the original file. So if I was to hover over this, you can see that a card appears, and this is asset example, and asset example one, etc. You can also see the linked scenes as well as what scenes are being referenced by each other, as well as priority and user, team, and all this other information, which is also controlled by this add-on when the relevant file is open, when the UID matches the row that's being looked at. Same thing for scenes, but the real cool part is I can go to something like scene overview, and all this information is spread out for me, as well as like asset list here. So asset example one is not completed, but if I go over and write Coda, so let me just, so rigging, let's see, let's mark it as complete. And then let's change it from an environment to a character. And I'm going to once again write manually. And it didn't show up, but in real time it updated up here so that it was automatically crossed out. It's been moved to the completed assets bin, and it's no longer in the assets to do bin. Any people would also be automatically notified about any updates on the project, however that's set up on Coda's side. So all this work has been set up by myself, and I find it pretty cool and pretty fascinating.